Let's continue on with our valve design. We have the casing from the last video. What we would like to do next is check on the inspect measure. What is the interior diameter of that hole? That's the input hose that is coming from the pressure vessel. That is 2 millimeters. Okay, that's an important value. We need to know that we have to have over 2 millimeters of plunger space down here inside this cavity, so that when it's pressed all the way down, it will block that off, okay, and not allow anything to escape over the top of it. So let's go back to the home view, and we're going to create a new sketch. We're going to place it directly on top of where we left off with the previous design. So I need to basically outline that interior shell space that I just made. I'm just going to click both points of that so that I have an outline, but I also want to give myself an offset so I have some tolerance. If it is exactly the same size, once it's 3D printed, it will not be able to move. I will not be able to insert it correctly. So I'm giving myself a tolerance now. Towards the inside, I am offsetting 0.2 millimeters. Okay? So this will basically be the plunger portion after I extrude that. Additionally, I need a switch portion, which I want to attach to the center. So I'm going to use a center rectangle. I'm going to make sure that I hover that midpoint right there. And I want to come down and make sure that I hover this midpoint right here. And when they line up, I will click. And I want to make this exactly 1.5 on my wall thickness tab, 26 on my length. So I'm going to press enter on that. And let's go ahead and extrude this switch portion first. Press E on the keyboard for extrude, and we will go up 55 millimeters. Also, we're going to turn that sketch back on, toggle the visibility there, so that we can extrude more than 2 millimeters. I'm going to go ahead with 3. We calculated, measured that thickness. We want to have some overage. I'm going to go ahead with 3 millimeters and make sure that it is using join on the operation. Okay to that. Now let's pan up to the top. We can turn our sketch visibility off. Let's fillet. I want to add a fillet on each of these 2 corners here. And I would like to make it 13 so that it's completely round across the top. And I want to use my ring finger basically to press down and pull up, thus turning the valve on and off. I am given a little white dot there that I can snap to, and that represents the center point of this radius that I just created with my fillets. So I'm going to make this, let's go ahead with 21 millimeters. And my ring finger should slide through there, and I would be able to depress the plunger into the valve and shut things off, or lift with my ring finger and open things up. So at this point in time, your fusion rule number 1 dictates that you create components and name them. So this first one was casing, and the second body, which we just created, create component from bodies, is called switch. Capital SWITCH. So this simple valve design should easily slide up and down, thus turning the pressure on and off. Remember to save your work and stay tuned for the next video.